Welcome, and thank you for joining me today in this presentation. Today, we will delve deeper into the concept of compensating wage differentials. A compensating wage differential is the additional income that employers must offer to attract workers to less desirable or riskier jobs. These differentials essentially ensure that jobs with unpleasant or hazardous conditions can still attract qualified workers. There are a bunch of non-wage attributes that might include long or irregular hours, exposure to danger or pollutants, and unpleasant working environments. The basic idea is that workers evaluate a job not just by the salary, but by the entire package, which includes safety, flexibility, stress, and quality of life. Understanding the CWDs is essential for explaining why workers with similar education or experience levels may earn different incomes. For example, a commercial diver and a miner would have a higher risk than someone who is an office administrator. CWDs shed light on wage structures across industries and occupations and help policy and economists understand labor supply, job sorting, and occupational choices. They also inform debates about wage fairness, job satisfaction, and how labor markets compensate workers for sacrifices beyond their paychecks. So, the matching process. The labor market operates through a dynamic matching process where utility maximizing workers seek jobs that give them the best combination of pay and conditions, while the profit maximizing firms balance wage costs with the workplace safety and the other amenities. Workers differ in how much they value their non-monetary job characteristics. Some prioritize flexibility or safety, while some would be okay for a higher risk with a better pay. Firms differ in how costly it is for them to offer safer and working conditions. The differences in preference and cost leads to this very trade-off between wages and job conditions. And offers can be represented by isoprofit curves for firms and indifference curves for workers, which we will now visualize. Looking at the real-world example of the mining jobs in Northern Ontario, Nobot, and Yukon, these jobs are often physically demanding and inherently dangerous. Workers face risks such as cave-ins, employment, equipment malfunctions, and hazardous substances. Additionally, these jobs are located in remote areas, often requiring fly-in and fly-out schedules and long times away from families. So to attract workers, they will essentially give higher wages, housing benefits, etc. So today we'll be looking into 4 diagrams. The first diagram, diagram A, this shows how wages adjust to compensate workers for the job risk, especially in hazardous industries like mining. Mining jobs are represented on the top left where the safety is low, SL, and the wages are high, WL. To attract workers into dangerous roles like mining, firms must offer significantly higher pay. The UC, UA, and UM indifference curves show worker preferences where a less risk-averse worker would be willing to accept low safety for more pay. The wage difference between these two jobs holding utility constant shows us the compensating wage differential. Here in the diagram B, we look at the fact that as risk levels decline across industries, wages also decrease, demonstrating the compensating wage differential. In graph C, we can see that the government has enforced a specific level of safety that they require. For a mining industry, this would mean better equipment, ventilation, and safety protocols to be present. Since safety improvements are expensive, wages fall from WN to WM, and the workers end up on a lower utility curve. The workers in this case would be worse off as they would not have voluntarily chosen to be chosen this higher safety, lower wage combination. Graph D, in this case, your firm increases the safety without reducing the worker's utility. However, wages do not fall and the firms absorb the costs, moving from the isoprofit curve of IM to IN. In mining, this scenario reflects large companies that may bear the financial burden of meeting safety mandates. Looking into statistical value of life, which is a powerful application of CWD theory, is calculating and observing how much extra compensation workers demand for increased risk of death or injury. These estimates guide public policy in areas like transportation safety and environmental protection. To conclude, compensating wage differentials are a foundational concept in labor economics that helps us understand the wage variation beyond skill and education. Workers don't just care about the money, they care about the total job experience, and the labor market reflects these preferences. Thank you.